I was getting in my groove.
To Awakenings Within. I know it surprises you every time, doesn't it? That it doesn't.
It's a great little clip there you had. I'm very proud of you. You did quite well. You always.
I need
if
to
I'm not
change
in the
it.
mood. It gets me in the mood.
Well, hey, welcome everyone. Who's here with us? And I just noticed my Christmas music was still playing.
Oh, really?
Carol of the Birds. Never heard Carol of the Birds. Have you heard the Carol of the Birds?
No.
No. So are you a Christmas music? Yes, no, maybe.
Well, I was listening to it in my truck today.
Oh.
Now, will I turn it on in my house? No.
No?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm in
not
my
yet.
truck sometimes 3 or 4 hours a day, so I'm getting plenty of Christmas music because it's on the radio stations.
Yeah. Well, hey, who's with us?
I heard Snoopy and the Red Baron, that song.
Oh, I love that one.
It brought me back to my childhood. I hadn't heard that song in decades, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that song.
Yeah. Hey, Jason. Yep. We're back from our break. We had a little break.
Yeah. You think anybody's back with us?
I don't know.
Jason came back.
Jason, thanks. Hi, Jason. Thanks. We appreciate it.
They all may be taking a break from us.
Yeah. Well, I know that. And see, that's what you roll the dice on, as if people will, just drop off.
Yeah.
See ya. Anyway, so did you even see what I titled tonight?
I did. So my first thought was, well, it's really nice after not having seen you in a couple of weeks to see your nice, bright, shiny face.
Oh,
that
thank you.
Me up, and so in light of the topic that you posted, I just thought, Sandy's the cure for the blind.
Yay, thank you. That's sweet. Hi, Larry. Larry, hello. And let's see. And you're in a different room and a bit of pink on the backdrop. Yes, a little bit of it's red. It's red. It's supposed to be red.
It's pink.
It looks pink.
Yeah. It looks pink.
It's I know.
Very
I'm gonna have to
girly-ish.
change it. Oh, that's not what I was going for. Here, I wonder if it'll change. Ooh, there we go.
But your face looks a little green too.
There.
Oh, there we go.
Now
we need a little yellow in there. See?
Oh no, yeah, I know. I'm a little pinky. Yeah,
you need a little warmth.
I know.
You need some warmth.
I know. It's okay.
You
I'll get it right one day.
Like a snow bunny.
Yeah.
You've been out of the sun for a while.
If somebody wants to pay for me to come to Florida, I'm in.
Yeah, get that cam back.
I'm in. If you're taking me to Florida and you have a flight ready, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm going. That's the way it's going.
There you go.
It was snowing today.
Yeah, it was spitting out there when I got out there.
And that is not cool.
Oh,
okay.
Cool.
And my smile looks brighter. Oh, yes, my smile. I have the greatest dentist.
Yeah.
My dentist here, Dr. Ayer, if you're listening, which he's on my Facebook. That's how I found him in the first place. I don't know how. Anyway, he gives a follow-up call after you get a cleaning or anything. Him personally.
Oh, really?
Him personally. So,
Jason wants you to go to Aussie Land.
That's Aussie-land?
Yeah.
Oh, you?
Exactly. See that's a trip. That's a great. I mean, I've been there a bunch of times, but
I've never
it's like
been
every
there.
new place. It's got its own unique culture and its own things to explore and
unique people too. I
and here's the truth of it: is like 95% of everybody lives on the coasts.
Oh, yeah, that's what he said.
Study Aussie population. It's all on the coast because the whole inside of the country is a giant desert.
Wow. Well, yeah. Okay. All right, Jason. Hey, I'll fly there.
You can take you to Macca's.
To Macca. I'm not going to Macca's if I'm going to Australia.
Well, yeah, because you got to see if Macca's is the same.
Shouldn't I go to the Outback? Aren't I supposed to go to the Outback restaurant? they don't have those there. But
Mm.
anyway, well, cheers, mugs up, everyone, because
I got
I'm
Bubba.
still drinking coffee because
Oh my gosh, I couldn't drink coffee this time of night.
Well, my son was in town. So how was your Thanksgiving, by the way? We haven't seen each other. So
I know.
and how was everybody else's?
Yeah, it was really good actually. So I had a dual Thanksgiving. It started out with being with Mike and Tina.
Oh,
And a
cool.
little family over there at their place where we ate a nice big Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh,
so I'm very grateful to Mike and Tina for the invite.
Very nice.
And then
They're
from
sweet.
there, went over and visited my daughter and her husband and their 4 kids, and got lots of TLC. So
awesome.
You know, when Papa heads over there, you know, I have 2 grandsons, and they insist on me watching The Mandalorian with them. We pile on the couch in the family room, and I've got there's 3 there. Not see, are they 8, 10, and 12, and then there's a little one that's 1.
Oh, wow. Okay, so did you see all of them? Because I'm going to do
all of them.
Okay, so spoiler alert.
Running to walk, so I can't get her to sit on my lap. But the big 3, they all like snuggle in, and there's only 2 sides of me.
That's sweet.
So there's a big fight over the 2 that are going to sit on both sides.
Wow.
So sometimes I end with a 3rd on top.
Oh, nice. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Mandalorian, shut your ears, your eyes, whatever you need to do. Grogu, really? Like they couldn't think of a different kind of, I mean, he doesn't look like that. Like Baby Yoda is way better. Okay. Can we pick a different name? I mean, Grogu, you can't even remember. It's either you're going Grog, what?
But here's what's so interesting to me is, in reality, Baby Yoda is ugly, but we all describe him as cute. So it's really fascinating to me how something ugly can actually be cute. Don't you find that an interesting paradox?
Yeah. Well, I think gremlins kind of look like him.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
Little gremlins. You know, and I'm thinking
interesting paradox, because my grandkids all, he's so cute. He's so cute. And I'm going, okay. But if any of us had a kid born like that, we go, that is the ugliest kid ever.
If I have a kid that looks like that, that's verifiable that I'm an alien, no doubt.
That's right.
Because we just don't look like that. So, okay.
So are you gonna do the big reveal one of these days, and show us your antennas?
No. That's what
Remember
this long hair. Yeah.
Remember my favorite Martian?
Yes.
Exactly. And then they were hidden, and every once in a while they come.
Ew, yeah, that was creepy.
I just was wondering if there's ever going to be everybody else is coming out. I was just wondering if you were ever going to come out and show us your true self.
No way. So Jason said most babies are ugly, but most people call them cute. I'm like, ew. Oh, well, you just, wow. That's not nice. That's just not nice. I hope my kids aren't listening. Are they listening? Are my kids listening? My son was on my show on Monday night.
Okay.
My son and I had a mother-son discussion about all things. Which turned it was kind of precarious because you just don't know how they're going to answer. The funniest thing that he answered was when I said, "Can you think of anything that I gave you advice-wise that you actually took?" And he says, "No, I can't think of anything." And I went, "Whoa, parenting at its finest."
So does he have kids?
No, yeah, he has it. Yeah,
yeah, because one of the, and I know it's she's or he or whatever it is it or young.
Yeah,
but one of the things that you hear all the time, and we did the same thing, was when things get very intense and you say something or you yell something and you go, "Oh my God, that's my dad."
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's my mom. I
Right.
would never.
I said I'd never do
I would
that.
challenge him. I'm going to
Yes.
challenge him on
Yes.
that statement, because I guarantee that over the next couple of years, there's going to be some things that come out. They go, "Oh my God, that's my mom."
Yeah. Yeah. He did really well. I was like,
Did he?
wow. Yeah. And what the reason that I even had him on is I had brought up personality types and everything. And I always thought that he's an introvert. And he informed me on this trip that no, he was not, that he's extroverted. And I said, oh, so he's just not as extroverted as my oldest son. So I guess I was comparing them.
Well, but there's
extroverted.
such a thing as an introverted extrovert, because
Yes.
that would be me.
Yeah.
Meaning that I have this weird personality that confuses people, because I tend to be a loner, and I enjoy being by myself and do a lot of things by myself because get lost in my head. But then suddenly I get with a group of people.
Yeah.
And then I come alive, or I'm speaking in front of a group of people and everybody's looking at me going, wait a minute, but you're the introvert.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, I guess
they call it an ambivert. That's what
ambivert.
They call it. Huh? Mm-hmm. We call it an ambivert, but or an extroverted introvert. Like you're extroverted, but you still need your time away from people. And right. I find that I'm kind of getting that way, but only because of what just happened and the COVID. So I mean, I now am enjoying that time to decompress, I guess. Who knew? Because before I was just burning the sails, So, I mean, that's what it was. So let's see. Christina, hi, how are you? Yes, he was.
Nice compliment.
Yes, he did really good, and I kind of one of those things like, yeah, he didn't take my advice, but apparently he kind of did. But it's okay.
You ever remember a show, Art Linkletter, Kids Say the Darndest Things?
Oh yes, that
was a hilarious show. I mean, more parents got embarrassed on that show, but it was hilarious.
So audience members,
that's what we need to do. We need to do a show with our grandkids.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So
the world according to our grandkids.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, mine doesn't talk yet, so
yeah, a couple years.
I can't yet. So if you guys celebrated Thanksgiving, please tell us how your Thanksgiving was. Let us know how your week was. It's Thursday, thank God.
Yeah.
It seems like the longest week after a holiday that's in the middle of the week, which is going to happen again at Christmas. Unfortunately, it's like that Thursday, Friday deal and then the weekend. And it almost feels like, oh, now I need to recuperate after that. But what I was saying is the reason I'm drinking coffee is my children, now that they're older, feel like their mom needs a drink every 2 hours.
I see.
Or minutes.
I see.
Something.
So what's in that coffee?
I was like, whoa. No, nothing's in the coffee. That's what I mean. It's a Vineyard coffee cup, but
sure.
Nothing. No, sure. Just straight leaded coffee.
Okay.
So tell me how you guys' holiday was, whoever's joined us. But we are going to be talking about the holidays. Do you know people that I notice people for the last couple of years, they're either the one that's, decorating the house, the tree, the outside, everything, or we have the people that kind of just, are reclusive at that time because they have a lot of, I feel like those are the people that are going through mourning and grieving of Christmases past, maybe. I don't know. What do you think about that? I see both sides, and how do people get through that is what we want to talk about is how are you going to get through it? And, during this weird COVID time.
Would this be a fair statement that this is an extraordinary holiday season?
Yes.
And I don't mean extraordinary like awesome. I mean like extraordinary. It's an extraordinary holiday season. So in order to address what you're talking about, there are a whole bunch of other issues surrounding everything now that are actually magnifying everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is creating a lot of interesting dynamics, and I don't know if we want to go into all that, but I mean, I know people right now they're struggling as a whole, right? About a lot of things. I mean, I don't know. Again, this is me. If I get too heavy here, you can just tell me to shut up. But I mean, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever told you to shut up.
Okay. Well, I don't want to.
I don't think I'll start today either.
Take it down a wrong road here, but I'm just thinking of some things that
we want to stay positive.
People, what they're struggling with. So one of the things is
the truth
is that people are shocked at the blatant hypocrisy. They've never seen hypocrisy on such display right now. Right. Now, part of that is driven by, again, social media, because everything we do or say suddenly gets thrown out there. So I don't know necessarily that hypocrisy is at a higher rate now than it ever has, or we're just more aware of it. But I think where it's particularly a big issue is it's coming from people who we have grown up being told that we should trust.
Right.
They're authority figures. They're people in places of responsibility. And suddenly we're looking at this going, oh my God, these people are hypocrites, which then ultimately it comes down to a trust issue, right? We suddenly, who do we trust?
Who do we trust?
So that's one issue. So I know these don't directly relate to that, but they do.
Yes, they do.
Because
they do.
It makes for a really what's the word I'm thinking? Well, years ago we did an album. I was involved in the music business, and the name of the album was Tumbling Ground. And I feel like we're in a tumbling ground. It's like the earth, which was solid, feels like the gelatin earth of an earthquake. I don't know if you've ever been in an earthquake where you feel the roll.
A small one,
Yeah. I was out in California. I went through 2 huge ones. Well, not huge, but pretty big. And I watched my pool go up.
Oh, wow.
It was like, it was tumbling ground. And I feel like people feel like they're trying to live a life that's stable and secure on tumbling ground.
Yes.
So hypocrisy is one issue. A second issue is what we'll call the duel of the diametric. I don't know. I mean, we've always had different points of view, but we're in a situation currently where we're in diametric perspectives.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what diametric is the 2 farthest points in a room. It's like it's as far as you can be in the same space. And I don't know that, since the 60s, we've ever been in a more diametric mode.
Yeah. It's gotten
so what it does is it's tumbling ground, right? It's just it feels right. So suddenly now, then this is where it gets into a spiritual kind of connotation here, because what's happening is all of the material things that we've put our trust in are suddenly like gelatin. They're just they're not stable. They're not secure.
But I feel, they're not, but they're still being focused on as being that way. They're still being focused on that you need these things, etc.
So in some ways, it's a hard lesson to learn, but it's all of us as individuals are being forced by the circumstances around us to start asking real significant questions about what do we value, what do we believe, what do we trust in, right?
And that's what it goes back with the holidays. And that's why I thought talking about that is I noticed that people get happy kind of around the holidays. Some of the people that I knew that are kind of not happy during the year around the holidays have this little like resurgence of joy because of the season. And the problem with that I've seen is that those people put their faith and their trust in the materialistic, because it's decorations, it's presents, it's, holiday parties, that kind of thing. And that's what I've noticed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think those things do bring joy, but I feel like some people put too much of a spotlight around those outside superficial Christmassy things, and then they become very, very dissatisfied with their holiday at the end. And I've seen it happen so many times that you have the perfect setup, you have the perfect lights, the trees, the everything else. But if you don't have joy in your heart about it and around it, and it's just all about decorating the outside, that's going to be very, nothing, your expectations are going to be not met because you're not going to get the right gift, or the people didn't act the right way. And I recall in my past of family issues around these times between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it seemed like for me personally, my Christmas Eves were always ruined by alcohol.
Yeah.
And so alcohol consumption increases at this time just to kind of get through it, for some people, and so that's another issue. And, it brings up weird, flashbacks to me how, yes, everything looked great on the surface, but underneath, when it came time to that day, I didn't get very excited because I always knew that the other shoe was going to drop, like it wasn't going to be the storybook Christmas movie that I anticipated it to be and expected it to be, ever. So, I just feel like again, like we've talked about before, the problem with things are that the unmet expectations and the expectations we put around that. And that's why people go into depression, is because they think all these other people are having this great Christmas and they're home alone and they're not. And if they only knew that wasn't true, that those homes, weren't celebratory. And the only time that I started to feel that joy was after I started to follow Jesus, to understand what the holiday actually meant and the significance of the holiday and, the activities around that were more important to me at that time, and it just came, there was a different, a piece about it. So, and that's it. But that became spiritual, instead of materialistic. And so that's why I'm bringing it up, because I feel like people live in this materialistic Christmas season, holiday season.
Well, we have an American version.
Yeah.
Of holidays. And I mean, if you go
that's the only way. That's the only way I know.
And look at history for 2,000 years, right?
Right.
It's only been in our lifetime, you and my lifetime, when Christmas became such a big commercial issue where we gave lots of presents. I mean, you talk to my parents' generation, you know what I mean? The ones that are dying out. I mean, Christmas was about getting candy and some fruit,
candy, and
right?
Fruit. Yeah.
And maybe a thing, but the world that that you and I've grown up in, where Christmas is this big, ginormous commercial holiday where we spoil each other with lots and lots of presents. Well, what it's done is it's created an expectation, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we fall into the trap of, this year, you didn't get me the big thing like you got me last year. Last year I got the 52-inch TV. I mean, this year, you see what I mean? So what happens is there's these expectations that we have.
Yeah.
And it's all become commercialized. And somehow, I know a lot of us that are, that have, walked on a faith journey have wrestled with it for years, because somehow in the commercialism of it all, we sort of lost the simplicity of it. So one of the things that I mentioned this, I did a little newsletter the other day, just kind of catching people up. And I was talking in the newsletter that one of the things right now that's creating a huge problem is that God created us to be relational.
Yeah.
Right? We were, in other words, when God created Adam, he was alone.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the very first thing he did to solve a problem was he created a helpmate, a friend, a family, a wife. You see what I mean? Relational. And we've been relational ever since. Human history is all about relationships, right? We are wired to touch each other, to be intimate with each other, to connect with each other. All of this on a very deeply spiritual and emotional level, right? Suddenly now we're in a situation where people in authority, right, political leaders, are all telling us that we can't be human.
Right.
We have to isolate.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this?
And it's not going so well.
Well, so to get to your point, part of the reason that people are confused is that what they're being told is the greater good that they have to sacrifice for is actually militating against who they actually were created to be.
Yes.
So a lot of us, we're all feeling conflicted right now. I mean, it's okay. And I want people to understand it's okay right now if you're a little confused, a little conflicted, a little bit feeling out of sorts. Well, you should be, because we're in a situation that's colliding. Two things are colliding head on. Who God created you to be with who you're being told you can't be.
Yeah. Well, I know I left Jason's, the high expectation. He agrees on the big holiday. And if they don't meet, then it's all fall further than, So feel unhappier than normal as our expectations are so high. And that's true. Like the aftermath of that is horrible.
Yeah.
The aftermath of that, now that my kids are adults, it even has changed for me. Christmas Day used to be like, woo, yay, it's here. And, can't wait to see the kids do this and that. And now there's no kids.
Well, you saw the other day
and that's kind of like, it's kind of like ho hum. And I thought about it myself the other day. I said, what am I going to do to change that? It's not going to be the same as it ever was. So what am I going to do to make a new tradition, like something new for myself, because I'll be alone. So, what can I do? So I'm coming up with the plan now.
There you go.
But it could be, baking something that I've wanted to try a recipe or something. Who knows? I don't know what it is yet, but I know that I'm, so back to your point though, what do you see as the answer to that?
Well, no, I mean, this is a very, I mean, it's a quandary we're all in, right?
It's a quandary, right?
Because we're seeing totalitarian edicts coming from people in political power that are saying, for the greater good, you cannot be together.
Right.
Your soul is screaming, but
I need to be
to be together.
Right.
So you see how we're caught.
Right.
And
that's the reason for depression for people last year, was because they couldn't be with their family. They couldn't travel. They could, for, income reasons, whatever,
I don't want to start civil disobedience here, but I'm
Civil
going to go on the record to say,
Oh,
be with
on the
people.
record.
No, I'm just saying, be with people.
Be with people.
It's
Yeah, I haven't
really
figured that out yet.
important that you
Yeah.
be. I don't care. I mean, and I'm not saying massive amounts of people. I'm just talking about whether it's family or close friends.
Come on, let's get a concert going.
Yeah, but we need. You're so bad. Oh, it's okay to need to be with people.
Yeah, I know.
See what I mean? In
I'll
other
be
words,
with
see,
people.
this is no, but I'm just saying, think about this, because there's a whole guilt. This is one of religion does this. Lots of people, they use shame. They shame you right into conformity of behavior. So you're a bad citizen if you meet with people.
Well, I already was I've been a bad citizen from the beginning. I'm just going to say a lot of my friends, I know they thought I was such a rebel. I was and family, friends and family were both like, they were all like, Sandy's a rebel. She's out, she's.
But you see the shaming going on.
Oh, they shamed
all over
me.
The place.
Oh, yeah.
It's shaming. And yet here these hypocrites are, right, having the party. I just went through this in another situation with somebody in another country who's, one of the main outspoken people about the whole COVID thing. And they had a big political party with all the elites. I mean, like hundreds of them without face masks, dancing, drinking, all the rich and famous all got together. So they're telling all the little people, right? You are a terrible citizen if you don't listen to our rules. Well, they're all breaking their own rules. And it got out in the press because some idiot decided that he wanted his picture taken with all these social lights, right? On social media, right? His little ego got in the way. It's like, look who I'm with, right? Or for somebody to point out, well, none of you are wearing masks. You're all, there's like 300 of you at this party.
Wow. That's a big party.
Government people who put all the COVID restrictions in and told us all we couldn't do this.
Right. So, so what do we like?
We've seen this all over the news, right?
This is terrible. Right. I mean, it happened to the guy in California, happened to the lady in Michigan, right? And then another
mayor of Denver.
Yes.
The mayor of Denver went to Cabo or something.
Flew somewhere.
They're all getting on airplanes. No, but
oh my god.
Putting the politics aside, we have to recognize.
Am I mad at them? Am I mad at them? No.
What?
I'm not mad at those people for wanting to be with people either. Right?
No, but I'm just saying we're fighting nature. We're fighting creation here.
Yes.
We are designed to be interactive.
Yes.
We need to be touched. We need to be hugged.
Yeah.
We need to have somebody look in our eyes and tell us that we're special. We need all of these things. This is the way God wired us. I mean, there's a reason why Proverbs says life and death is in the power of the tongue. Words being spoken to each other, they matter.
Affirmations. Yes.
Affirmations. Exactly. Being touched though. Tactile. Touch.
Yes.
Right. I mean, my mom is in a nursing home in Chicago, right? And isolate, can't even leave her room because of the COVID stuff.
Right.
I was talking to her today, and she just wishes somebody could hold her hand.
Oh,
sit in the bed next to her and hold her hand.
Oh, that's not. And I know, and nobody can go in there.
Nobody can go in there. None of us are allowed to go in there.
Somebody's telling you you're special.
Well, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. So my point in all of this is that the holiday season is a time that we connect.
Yes.
And don't let people steal that from you. Now, I'm not saying, go on New Year's to the big, sell.
They're not going to have a big thing in New York City. That's not happening. New York City is not having that this year, are they?
But I don't family think so. And friends are critical.
Yes.
They're critical to your emotional, mental, and spiritual health.
They are.
So don't let people shame you out of that.
Yeah.
right? Because you
Yeah.
have nothing to be ashamed of. You were created to be that way.
Yes, and I had you know, I always say my love tank is filled by myself, by me,
Yeah.
but that extra love was, you know, is in my reserve now from my children, from my boys. I did get to spend it with them for Thanksgiving. There was only 4 of us, right?
Right.
So it was a small
That could take you
gathering.
through a
I was
whole series.
within the limits, but I
I
did
mean, you could go
travel,
through
so
the
I
whole of the New
traveled and
Testament,
traveled.
all of Paul's writings, right?
Yeah.
He
Thank
talked
you,
all the
Jesus.
time about relationships. The weak limb needs to be strengthened by the strong one. I mean, the whole of the New Testament is
It
filled
is.
with interconnectedness, how things relate
Well,
to each
yeah.
other,
I mean,
right?
Jesus, the first thing he did was find people to hang out with and to take
Right.
around with.
Well, and
He didn't do it alone, did he?
the other thing
No.
that I mean, it's, again, this gets down to kind of worldviews, but I'm sure you've been brought up with the understanding that there's a very different way of looking at things from a Western Greek point of view versus an Eastern Hebraic point of view. The
Mhm.
Greeks compartmentalized everything, and
Right.
everything was its own, stood on itself. The Hebrews saw everything as interconnected.
Yes.
The Chinese are the same way. They see that Eastern thing that, your body, soul, and spirit are all connected, and each
And they
one
are.
affects
Right.
the other, where the Greeks saw them
Mhm.
all as 3 completely unique compartments.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying is your physical presence helps you spiritually and emotionally and soulishly.
Yeah.
So get your body, but don't let fear,
No.
shame, all these things that
Fear
they're
and
using to try to
right.
cause you not to relate to other human beings.
Right. And unmet expectations. Don't let that rule either.
But it's the
Don't.
reason that, I mean,
Mhm.
that is one of the keys to not being depressed in the blahs over the holidays, right?
No
I
blah.
can tell you, I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I mean, Thanksgiving for me is a hell of a conflict.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Because of
On the
what's
same
happened.
day,
Right.
I have to remember that I had 16 friends massacred on the very same day that right. So for me, the best medicine for my soul was to go over and hang with Mike and Tina,
Yeah.
friends who love me,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
love me. They know my
That's
story.
very
They
nice.
know what I've been through.
Yes.
They
That's
cared
nice.
enough to, just them inviting me,
Right.
right? An act
Yes.
of kindness, right?
Yes.
Then I go over to family. So I was first with friends, then with family. I've got the 4 of the cutest little grandchildren climbing all over me. I got so much love and affirmation. My soul just soaked it all up,
Right.
The of what happened to my friends dissipates.
Yeah.
Because
That's hard.
that's the past.
Right.
And I'm living in the present. And
right.
in the present is
Mhm.
lots of love. My grandkids could care less how much money I have. They could care less what job I have. They could care less what title I have. They could care less. All they care about is just Papa's here and we can touch him.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I'm not the only one. I'm just telling, my story. But that's the way we're all wired.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy being there with my kids. My son made his first turkey.
Wonderful.
So he marinated it in some spices, though. It was a little hot, a little spicy, but it was really good. Like the only reason we knew it was really spicy is when we made the gravy. It's like, oh, that's got some kick. So it was good. It was his first one, and we had a great time, and we sat together and laughed. We played football, like all 4 of us. So they all got injuries. I didn't, because I just let the ball hit the ground. Right. It's like I know better. Like I've learned better.
But what it wasn't really the turkey. It wasn't the meal.
No.
It wasn't anything. It was just being together.
Yeah.
Right? And
it was. I mean, the football was so much fun.
Soul overflowing
Yeah.
Right. And so
Yes.
what were you grateful for?
I was grateful for just their presence.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
right.
Just their
And it's
presence.
not. It
Right.
wasn't anything materialistic, right? It was
Right.
completely relational.
Yeah.
Turkey might have
Oh,
been
there
hot,
he
but oh
is.
well, it's a fun memory. We'll tease him about it for the next 20 years.
There's the dude. And say hi back to Tina.
There you go.
Hi, Tina.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what's so interesting is that we're in this culture which is so materialistic,
Yeah. Ooh.
right? And
Yes.
yet the things that actually satisfy us aren't materialistic.
No. I know. Presence, quality. But see, my love language is quality time. Well, and affirmation. So like actually I have three.
So getting back to what we were talking about with the holiday season and the blahs and all that stuff. Well, maybe the reason why is you are materialistic. Maybe you're putting your focus on the wrong value system. Maybe your value system's upside down. It's skewered, right?
Yes.
And so you've got these expectations based on skewered values that are only going to let you down.
Yes, they are. And I just want to say, Jason, you're special too, by the way.
But
give him a shout out.
We all had this experience before. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm wired this way. But, there's something you always wanted. And then you got it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then a month later, 2 months later, it was just ordinary.
Do you remember the thing that you wanted the most? I do.
Yeah. What was it?
What I wanted the most one year was that Simon game.
Oh, right.
And I got it. And it was actually the most fun game ever. I wish I still had one. Do they make them still?
But do you ever notice how...
Listen to me. I want one of those.
Yeah. But the expectation, right, is what it does to you in terms of how it built, right? It's like this bigger than life, your emotions, the excitement, all of it, right?
Yes.
And then after you get it, it's just like ordinary again. You know what I mean? It's just like another thing, right?
Yeah.
And so what do? We
and I didn't have anybody to play with.
Right. I didn't another sense of excitement about, right?
Yeah.
And but I mean, after a while, I started looking at my life going, this cycle keeps happening.
Yes.
Like I started realizing, wait a minute here. I'm somehow or another have allowed my value system to get so skewered that this thing is supposed to make me happy or this whatever, and it wears off.
No.
Well, the thing that I've noticed about my relationships is they don't wear off.
Well, right. They're not supposed to anyway.
They're not made to. Well, I mean, some have lifespans.
I was gonna say that's not always true.
Yeah, some have lifespans.
Some has a
use by date.
Yeah, some have seasons.
But they're not. I mean, that's not because they're intrinsic. The relation. It's if it's the brokenness.
Yeah.
Right. The broken toys.
Yeah. We're the island of misfit toys. Yeah. Nice, Michael. Well, Jason is very special. He's so mean.
It's that Mikey humor again.
Mikey humor. That it's nice to have you on, Mikey.
I always picture.
I don't ever call him Mikey. I call him Michael.
The kind of kid. I mean, or was the kind of kid that, like, you got a piece of cake or something, and he would lick his finger and stick it in your cake. You know what I mean? Just to.
You knew him when he was a kid?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like that would be. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying,
I thought you knew him as a kid.
He's got this poking personality. I can just picture him sticking his finger just to get. You know what I mean?
I hate it when people do stuff like that. They do that to me. Yeah, they're like, haha.
Oh, I know. You just take your food and mix it.
Oh yeah, no,
that's what we'll do. We'll mix your food together and watch you have a meltdown.
If you put something next to no. Listen, Michael says, yeah. See, I have to call him Michael. And it's only because of Tina. Tina calls him Michael. That's why. Michael. Yes, very true, Bob. Yep. Very true. Yep. We knew you'd be. Ew, or the ones that gave wet willies. Ew. Were you a wet willy giver too? I hated that. Whenever I had a couple cousins, this one boy cousin, I'd be like, get away from me. Like, you are disgusting. Like, do not do that to me. I mean, my mother, she was very concerned, like there's no way she was going to lick the Kleenex and then wipe your face. Thank God. She was like a germaphobe like I was. And so, and I never did it to my kids either. So I had baby wipes. I was like, let's get the baby wipes.
Yeah, I don't really didn't actually attack people's bodies, but I do remember one time, we were out in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, visiting my cousins who were all older than me, who wouldn't let me play with them. So I got mad, and they were in the middle of remodeling a house. And what had happened, they hadn't finished the drywall on one of the walls. And so I went in the house and saw that all their shoes and everything, like there were like dozens of pairs of shoes, were all in the front. So I took all the shoes and threw them down the wall between the studs behind the drywall.
Oh, no.
Right? So suddenly later that night, everybody came in looking for their shoes, and there weren't any shoes anywhere. And so everybody was wondering where their shoes were. Well, the only way they could get them out was they had to cut a hole in the drywall at the bottom of their newly installed drywall. So I got my ass whipped.
I was gonna say that's not good. That's horrible.
The thing I did, was throw their shoes behind the wall.
Did they mess with you anymore?
Oh, they like to tease me.
Oh, okay.
We're all old now, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, but after that, did they like kind of
my grandsons, I give them noogies.
Oh, those are horrible too.
Oh yeah, but they're boys, so they can they stand the pain? I'm toughing you up, boys. I do it right on their breastbone, right? They're like, "Oh, Papa."
See, I knew nothing. I grew up in a, not male household. You know what I mean? It was all dictated by women. So, I mean, there was a male in it, but he didn't dictate anything. So, so it was very ladylike and women things. So when I had boys, I mean, it was a whole new world to me. I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was like my worst nightmare, because I was like, oh my God, they make those noises, they make those smells. It was just like immerse me in the world of males. And I just didn't even know what to do with that for a little while.
Well, my daughter went.
It was horrible.
My daughter went through that because her firstborn was a girly girl. Isabella, it's like she's girly girl, right? Then she had two boys, and so I remember, probably was 3 or 4 years ago, she called me one night crying on the phone. Dad, what is wrong with boys? I go, what do you mean? She goes, they were filthy. This is like 5:30. Like, I brought them in the house. I gave them all baths, got them in, clean clothes and everything. And then I got a phone call. And when I got off the phone call, they'd snuck back out of the house and they were back in the dirt again.
Oh, yeah. Yep, those are boys.
Isabella was never like this.
Yes. See, that's it. I mean, I wasn't ready. And my son came and spent time with me. I know he's going to kill me if he's watching this later. But I was like, if you sit on my settee, don't you, and I gave him the rules. He's 28.
Yeah.
I said, don't you burp, fart, do any of those things on my stuff. Like, I don't want you doing that, because this is the first time I've had a house that's kind of like ladyfied, I guess you'd say, since then. And,
when I'm with the grandkids, it's always the same way, because the boys are doing everything disgusting, and their older sister's like, you guys are animals.
Oh, yeah.
So she likes to come over to my house, where it's just me and her, so she can just, sit on the couch and watch movies and not have to, like she said, I don't have to deal with those disgusting brothers.
Disgusting brothers. It's terrible. It's terrible,
Papa. They're so disgusting.
Well, guess what? Nothing a light bulb wouldn't be changed. Things wouldn't be made unless they're they were ready to be rugged and get dirty and, the lawn done, all that. So there's a purpose in it, right?
Well, I told her, I said, right now that's your perspective, but I'm going to just tell you in about 10 years, your perspective's going to shift. And then, you guys will all get old and married and move to your different places. And those disgusting things you'll have will suddenly be fond memories and jokes about Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
All these kind of things. So I said, it all shifts. Your view of all this will shift. So,
yeah.
Right now, they're disgusting little mud hens,
Yes. Yes. So I just wanted to address our holiday things early because it's the first week of December. I can't even believe it. I cannot believe it. I can't believe that this year just went flying.
I think one of the things that another piece of this, because we're talking about some of the components.
Yeah.
One of the big components right now is people feel like they're not in control.
But they weren't ever. But they were never. They were never in control. Did they just not recognize that?
Right there is that we
because we live
in a Western world with all this finely tuned infrastructure, we have a false perception that we're in control. And the reality of it is we're not in control, but we're even feeling less in control right now because there are people at a different stratosphere battling it out over things that are going to affect our lives. So my encouragement to you is just take control of your little world that you're in.
World. That's all you got control over.
You and your family, like your little circles, right? There's you, next circle family, next circle friends. You can control all that.
That's right.
I don't mean control people. I'm just saying you can
need to control.
Invest in that. You can, spend quality time with those people. You can interact with each other about issues that have nothing to do with COVID, nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with the economy. You can just you know what I mean?
Yes, it can go right back. You just get it. Yes. I mean, you can have that peace. You don't need all that crazy
eye of the storm, right? In other words, that's at the core of the storm.
Yes.
Are these little calm places. Now, not everybody's got that because sometimes we have family conflicts but that's we can have the next week, we can talk about all that. Yes. But in general though, that's the place of peace.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Find your peace.
God in your personal life, right? To get your values right. And then your relationship with your family.
Yeah. You need that.
It's odd because we may have conflict with our family, but in the end, we always, like they say, blood's thicker. You bond together.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So
you do that with your friends. I mean, when it gets bond, when there's crisis, we come together. And so let's do that over the holiday season. Let's come together and don't let people tell us,
Yeah, and listen to your favorite Christmas music. Listen to that, or watch The Grinch. Whatever you do at holiday time, who knows?
Yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas. Isn't there a Charlie Brown Christmas?
Yeah, are they playing it this year?
I don't know. I know.
I heard they weren't. I heard they weren't going to play it
the other day on Netflix with Forrest Whitaker in it. Jangles. Something jangled. It was a black musical about Christmas. It was actually quite good.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah. It was quite good.
I mean, I'm gonna after this, I'm gonna go watch some Christmas movies. And I say Christmas.
Now,
so it is Christmas.
To me, is there something else in that coffee?
No, there isn't. There is not. I swear. It's just coffee. It's just coffee. I'm detoxing again. So anyway, I hope that you all, if you need help during this season, our page has some resources, reach out. Please reach out. Don't be alone. Don't think you have to go through things alone, because you don't. I mean, you can have connection. I've been more on the video call thing than I've ever used before. My sons now call me and we do group calls. And we never did that before. So, the other night my son was saying, the positive that's come out of this is that we've actually learned how to connect with each other better and easier. My son said before he would have never thought to video call me and do all that. But now it's like a given. Like every week now I get to see their faces. They're sitting there playing video games. They're still playing video games at their age, but
that's what I got one. I got one just like that. He's been in that world since he was 12. And you go over to his house and he's 30 years old, like shooting people, like people from Korea. Like,
they were playing some Mongolian or Monrovian. I don't know.
Teams and play each other all over the world.
They were doing it. And then we played Jackbox. I don't know if you played that. That was kind of fun. And so, we can interact with each other. We can connect with each other. Right. You're not really alone. Well, Alexa's always there for you too.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is relationships are to the soul what food is to the body. You can't live without it. So, despite what they're trying to cram down our throats, we've got this police state right now. The reality of it is you have to be with people.
Yeah.
It's not an option.
Right. And if you can't physically because of my son and grandbaby or, in Virginia, I can't get to them.
Resources.
Yeah. They can video call you. You might not be able to reach out and touch them, but it feels like you almost can, it's kind of a neat thing.
But I'm just saying it's like we go to the grocery store, right?
Yes.
That's preemptive. Meaning we go to the grocery store to buy food because we know we're going to need it, right? We plan.
Yes, plan it. Yeah.
Be as vigilant with your soul as you are with your stomach.
Yeah.
And be proactive and realize that relationships and interaction is food for your soul. So
it is.
Vigilant about it, Don't take it for granted. It's otherwise you're going to end up in the blahs. You're going to be suddenly wake up. Oh my God, I'm so depressed. Why am I so depressed? Why is everything right? And I guarantee if you got together with friends or family, that would all dissipate.
Yeah. Yeah. And we recognize, not all families get along. Not all families, it's not all happy times with your family, right. And so if you can't find your happy place with your family, find it, within, I'm just really even wondering, I'm like, I love going to Christmas Mass. Like I still love Catholic Christmas Mass. I think it's the most beautiful. I still love it. I don't even know if they're I don't know. Are they having them there this year? I don't even know. But I started to think about it the other day. I'm like, I really need to look that up, to see if they're having people singing or not, or, gathering or not, find that place, find that.
I've been, kind of traveling around town and I've seen a lot of people already got their Christmas. They had their Christmas trees up before Thanksgiving. So I think there are people that are wanting to kind of, some people can't even get to Thanksgiving. But it brightens people's spirits, so.
And Jason says some older people aren't very good with tech, so we all still have the phone to call and have a laugh and chat with. That's a good idea.
Jason, you're absolutely right. That's what I did with my mom. And just to put that in perspective, my mom is still asking me where the internet is because she can't find it.
Oh.
She doesn't know where to get it. Like, where is it? Can you explain to me where it is? Because he's used to the
phone, right?
Where's the internet? Like, how can I connect? Can I pick up?
They've actually created phones, like internet phone, like a phone that looks like a phone that you can talk on. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
My mom can handle that.
Yeah, so it's like I think it's like connected to the Bluetooth of the phone. Just like I could call on my Alexa right now, anybody, and it would go through, I think you can do the same with this phone. So just Just
Well, a
saying.
decade ago, when my
Idea.
mom was 83 years or 84 years old, I tried to teach her how to use a laptop.
Yes.
It was like she couldn't do it. I mean, we ended up giving it away.
Aw.
She couldn't do it, right? And then I'm laughing because I'm with my 5-year-old grandson who's zooming around on my iPhone, and knows more about it. Like, Papa, it's like I got my granddaughters designing little icons for me. And,
Right.
my 5-year-old grandson, showing me all this kind of stuff. And I'm laughing because there's like 80 years, 8 decades between my mom and her great grandchildren. And the two are so different when it comes to tech.
Wow. Let's see. I haven't seen my folks because my folks don't have tech knowledge how to use it, even though he uses an iMac. He knows how to use that, but not answer calls on it. Oh, yeah. I mean,
I understand.
yeah.
Jason.
Oh, my dad though. My dad's in the 70s and he's a whiz on it now. He sends me stuff. I'm like, where'd you get that?
I know.
But anyway, well, so if you guys are down, just know where it's coming from. Find out why, get to the why and then get to the solution, which would be exactly what Bob's saying. Connect. We need to connect. And if that means connect with your family, connect with your friends, connect with God, connect with the Spirit, whatever that is that you need to bring into you, that peace, that's the key. That's the answer. Not more food, not more alcohol, not more presents, just presence of, yes, of people and the Spirit, which is, I think, the key. So, all right. Well, thank you, Bob. And I know you're not going to be with me on Monday because I didn't put it in the thing, Sandy Solo. So if anybody's interested and they want to be my co-host that day.
As long as you're not Amelia Earhart and get lost. Otherwise, I have to sing a rescue party for you.
I'll be flying to my other side of the room.
I'll see you
yeah.
Tonight.
So the following Thursday.
Well, I look forward to it. You always brighten my day or my evening.
Thanks. So. And same here. And thank you for your wisdom. You always share such great wisdom, and I appreciate the depth that you give this show. I thank you for that. And so I thank you for all of you that joined. Christina, Michael, Jason. Did I miss some? And Larry, of course, and always Larry.
All right.
So I thank you all for joining, and we will see you together next Thursday. But if you want to come do a coffee chat, and if you'd like to be my co-host, maybe send me a message.
There you go.
All right. Take care, everybody, and be safe this weekend. And just love. That's all I got to say. Just love.
There you go.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.